Jingling bells, Christmas music, twinkling lights, there's a lot of jolly around right now. But the Christmas spirit is not a mandate, and not everyone looks forward to it this time of year. It can be pretty stressful.
And those social obligations, your finances, family dynamics, so much to deal with. You know, Trinity Health, they know this. They have ways to help those struggling through the season. We've got Carrie Mull. She's the Director of Behavioral Health for Trinity Health West Michigan. Has some ways for all of us to help enjoy the holidays because it can be extraordinarily stressful. Let's talk about what this can be for a lot of people, because I feel like everyone's pushing the happy all the time.
Yeah, so true. Well, and I think too that if you have feelings of financial anxiety and financial stressors through the year, right, or some difficult family relationships through the year, everything is amplified during the holidays. So it's not like, oh, everything's perfectly fine, and then the holidays, it's, you know, it's all those feelings that we're dealing with throughout the year. You know, some people are dealing with grief and loneliness, and all of that gets amplified, I feel like, during the holidays.
And there are a lot of triggers out there, right? For a lot of, can you name off some of those? I mean, I mentioned some of the things, but there are lots of different things that can set someone off this time of year.
Right. Well, I think just grief and loss and loneliness can be a trigger, right? So if you have someone who you've been missing throughout the year and you're like, oh, I really want to see more of that person, everything is just amplified during the holiday. And that can be a really lonely time for people, particularly though financial stressors. You know, if you're struggling with finances and now we have to bring a dish to pass, it's just a simple dish to pass, but that can be expensive. You know, never mind the gifts and all of that stuff, but it's all those other things that we don't even think about, you know, that oftentimes people struggle with, and then it's just worse around the holidays.
Right. So what are some ways that we can, number one, identify that either us or someone we love is struggling, and what are some ways that we can either help ourselves or help someone cope?
Yeah, so I talked about this before, actually, with you two, about recognizing when people aren't doing well and recognizing when we aren't doing well. And it's so important to do during the holidays. So if people or yourself even are struggling with sleep, like sleeping too much or sleeping too little, which can result in irritability, notice that. Notice that in ourselves, notice that in others, and reach out, make that connection. If people are normally very engaged and very social, and then you notice that they're withdrawn and they're not participating like normal, that can be a red flag. It's the same with ourselves. So notice that and check in. Make sure that they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I think about, we talked about the stressors, we talked about recognizing some warning signs, but now what to do about it?
Right.
Because we can't just talk all about the bad stuff.
That was my question, because
Right.
like you mentioned, people know that this might be coming. It's just turned up. I mean, things have been happening throughout the year. So there's time. You see it. You might see it coming. How can we manage this?
Yes. So before I came on, I had a whole list of strategies. We can't have a whole list of strategies. No one remembers that. So I bucketed it into three. I like to bucket things into three. So the first one is setting first and managing realistic expectations. Right? We have to do that first. And that is with finances. So creating a budget, creating a plan, and then doing it again and making sure that it's realistic. Creating healthy boundaries for ourselves and with our families. So we know those family members that we might not get along with so well. Have a plan before you go to that holiday party and make that realistic, right? Like if it's not going well, so we're going to leave early. If the kids are overly tired and overly stimulated, you're going to leave early. Perfectly fine. Manage and set realistic expectations for yourself.
And of course, communicate that.
Yes,
with everyone, so everyone's on the same page.
That's right, and don't feel bad about it. It's perfectly fine to set limits. People will understand that. People will understand that.
And I think that's key. I think we have to hit on that, because I think we feel this overwhelming guilt. Like, if I don't bring this dish, or if I say I have to leave from this situation because I can't deal with this, people feel like I can't do that.
Right. Well, we feel like we need to be perfect. And I do that myself. I was just talking about this the other day with a friend of mine. You feel like everything needs to be perfect for the holidays to be a success. That's nonsense. We are not perfect. Things don't have to be perfect, and nobody cares whether or not it's perfect. So we need to manage those expectations. Things do not have to be perfect. It's fine. The second thing is taking care of ourselves. So we know this, we hear this throughout the year, eat healthy and exercise. We've been hearing about this for decades. Okay, we got it. We get it. It's really easy to say. It's hard to do. So we know this, and that's very important during this time too. But what we don't talk about enough is the importance of getting good sleep and taking care of ourselves, like from a mindfulness and relaxation standpoint. So those are my two favorite things. I'm like, oh good, I'm gonna relax and focus on sleep. Who cares about the eating? No, we know that eating healthy and taking care of our body improves our mental health, but so does getting adequate sleep and practicing those mindfulness exercises. So what in the world are mindfulness exercises, and who has time for that? Well, what I like to do is just the deep breathing one. And you think, well, deep breathing, like whoop-de-doo, like what is that? But I like to do the box breathing. So inhale 8 seconds, kind of up the side of the box, hold it for 8 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds, hold for 8 seconds. You can do that anywhere. You can do that in the car. You can do that anywhere. And it honestly lowers your blood pressure.
Sounds like a
little thing.
Easy thing to do. And there are a lot of these. I know we're running short on time.
Yeah.
Anything left?
Just the seeking support. Right?
That's true. I mean,
seeking support. If you're feeling like you're not doing well, seek support from your friends, your family. Trinity Health website has all kinds of resources. The 988 phone number, we think like, wait, isn't that 911? Nope. 988 is perfect for just talking to someone if you're feeling like things are getting too overwhelming.
Let's make sure we get that number out there, 988.
Yep, right there on your screen, Carrie. Thank you so much for your insight, for your time, and trinityhealthmi.org/behavioral health for some of those tips and coping skills that we just talked about. We'll be right back.